Hello and welcome to another FanTeam Focus video. This time we're going to be looking at a bit of a beginner's guide to the FanTeam Weekly Monster. Now this is kind of the selling point of FanTeam, and massive prize pots, and it's kind of for all of those people that play FPL, it's basically your free hit every week. So every week you are choosing the 11 players that you feel like are going to be best and score the highest amount of points for you to possibly go to. So we're going to have a bit of a look at today at how it works, what a few of the main rules are, what a few of the main differences are, and then actually we're going to kind of pick and select a very quick team just so you can see the idea. So first thing that you need to do is come onto the screen and find the weekly monster. So right here we've got the game week 34 weekly monster, and we're just going to click the £1.80 fee. So this will take you to the screen where you then need to decide on which players are going to be worth it for you and which are not. So to start with, we're just going to click on the little details tab here. Okay, so now this tells us every single fixture that is involved in this game week. So you've obviously starting off with Brighton versus Leeds, going all the way down to Burnley versus West Ham. So you then got the entries. Okay, so this shows that everybody has entered so far. So this is very new, so we've only got 5. It's then got the prizes for us, so it breaks it down exactly who's going to win what. And finally, we've got the rules. So here's where there's a few big differences from FPL as there is to FanTeam. So as you can see here, you can still only own a maximum of 3 players from one team. Okay, so you can't completely load up on any one team that you fancy. There are a maximum of 100 entrants per user. You must choose a captain and a vice captain, but it's only your captain that is scoring double points. Your vice captain will just step in if your captain doesn't play. Again, exactly the same as FPL. You've got a budget of 105 million. So obviously each week, every single player is priced up differently according to their fixtures and their form. Okay, so you won't just be able to look at a player and know their price. Every single week it will change, and then you've got 105 million to build up that budget. The one other big kind of rule, well, 2 big rules is number 1, the stacking penalty. So the stacking penalty is there to stop you from purely picking three defenders all from the same team. Okay, so if you were to do that, you've got your player 1 is unaffected. Okay, so for example, if we come off here, if I just pick Reguilon, okay, if he gets a clean sheet, I'm not affected by any of his points. However, if I was to add Serge Aurier in there, Serge Aurier would receive 1 less point for his clean sheet. Okay, that's called the stacking penalty. If I was then to add my 3rd Spurs player as a defensive player, Alderweireld would then lose 2 points from, again, his stacking penalty. Okay, so this kind of puts people off by going all 3 defenders from one team, because you lose those clean sheet points going and sticking to a maximum of 2. Okay, we then move back on to the details, and the last bit that we have got is looking at a stacking, not the stacking penalty, sorry, the safety net feature. Now this safety net feature is there for the random players that get benched, the random players that have got injuries that we don't know. Obviously we've dealt with COVID this year as well, so that safety net is just there for you to ensure that you always have a player playing. However, there is also some strategy to this. So if we go to Spurs, for instance, okay, they have got 5 defenders that are available. Now, if I was to pick Sergio Reguilon, who's 10.9 million, who's the most expensive, if for some reason he was not to play and he wasn't in the squad and he didn't start the game, I would automatically get the next highest player that is starting in that game. So if Serge Aurier was playing, Reguilon would automatically switch out and Serge Aurier would come in for me. However, this is where the strategy comes in. So for example, if I was to pick Harry Kane, not Harry Kane, sorry. So we've got Harry Kane, we've got Vinicius, and we've got Dane Scarlett. Okay, so changing this filter is quite important just to make sure that you can see everybody. If I was to pick Harry Kane, obviously come in. If I was to pick Carlos Vinicius, Dane Scarlett would come in. However, if Harry Kane didn't play, and neither did Vinicius, neither did Scarlett, I wouldn't automatically sub Kane out. So Kane would stay in there. The other thing to keep an eye on is if I actually pick the cheapest one, so if I was picking the cheapest option, there's a little bit of a risk because you do not get a safety net. So for example here, if I picked Son and he didn't play, I would automatically get Gareth Bale if he starts. However, if I was to pick Harry Winks and he didn't play, I would not get anybody coming in because he's the cheapest one. Okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. So we've gone through the details there. In terms of scoring, there's a few other bits that are obviously quite important. So one of the bits that is probably underrated a little bit is the fact that we have got a midfielder or attacker playing the full match gains an extra point. So it's really valuable to look at those midfielders and attackers that actually played 90 minutes, because that 1 point can be very, very valuable. Obviously, we've got all of our players scoring goals here. A midfielder clean sheet also gets us an extra point if they play 60 minutes or plus. So again, that's quite an important feature. We have got a goalkeeper making 0.5 points for every single save. So again, actually a goalkeeper that you fancy to be busy. It could be, for example, we had Dubravka away at Liverpool. Made quite a lot of saves. I think he scored about 5 points, even though they didn't keep a clean sheet. So the goalkeeper only loses points if they concede 2 or more goals. For that's a -1, but they do make 0.5 points for every single save that they make. So again, that can be very, very important. The final one we need to keep an eye on is that they actually get an extra point for winning the game. So you want to be looking for players that can win the game essentially, and obviously also provide you some contributions. So how do we actually select the team? Now we have got the formation, which pretty much you can choose whatever you want. As you can see from here, you cannot have more than 5 defenders, you cannot have more than 5 midfielders, or you cannot have more than 3 strikers. But apart from that, you can pretty much have anything else. So we are very quickly going to have a look at some of these filters. So if you want to just go on any, you can click on all teams just there. You can filter a max price. You can look at status. So I just want the players that they think are going to be available. And then you can rate it by form, by assist, by conceded goal, whatever you want to choose. So there's lots of options there for you. So here is obviously our captain and our vice captain. There is an autocomplete button if you're feeling very lazy, but I probably wouldn't suggest that to go forward. So I'm going to very quickly pick a team here. We're going to go with Mope. We're going to go with Richarlison. We're going to go with Werner. We're going to go with Gomez, Harrison, Podence, McAllister, and then our back 3 is going to be, we've got loads of money left, so Chilwell, Rodon, Cesar, Azpilicueta, and we will go with Bernd Leno in goal. So as you can see there, Lloris would be too expensive, so I wouldn't be able to fit Lloris into my lineup. Now, lots of people would look at this and go, well, that's not particularly a good lineup because you haven't got that many players that are doubling up. If someone's going to score or someone's going to assist, you kind of want someone on their same team to be doing that. So here you'd look very well in terms of the McAllister and the Mope is probably a good selection because, if Mope is going to score, there's a high chance that McAllister is going to assist. So you can fiddle with these lineups as much as you want. You can look at your formations. Okay, you can look at captaining a defender. So you can click on the captain here. I maybe go with Azpilicueta, and if he's not playing, I might go for Daniel Podence. So there are loads of different opportunities for you to be able to choose that. As soon as you've selected your lineup, you'll see if there's a remaining budget there. If you've done that, you're going to go enter tournament and enter this team. And just like that, you have entered that for £1.80, and this tells me what else I can enter that team into. So that was a very brief beginner's guide on how to play the FanTeam Weekly Monsters. If you've got any questions at all, please make sure you DM us on Twitter. But apart from that, you can make sure you like, subscribe this video, and also comment if you found this useful. And we'll be back soon with some more beginner guide videos.